Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome or welcome back to the garden. Today we're going to go ahead and make that hanging basket I was talking about in our last video. I'm a little bit behind as far as videos go with all the things that we've done, but I do have some annuals that I want to get planted out as well today. But first, let's jump into this, and I think it's going to be really, really cool. Okay, so I was actually driving down the road this was last year, and I saw these at a local thrift shop. And I have a little rock spider hanging out with me here. But this just spoke to me as a hanging basket. And somebody must have had the same idea because there are some hooks already on there, which I've attached carabiners to. But a quick Google search does not show anything other than it was a guard for something at a time. I think it might have been a guard for a fan, is what a friend told me. But I've already gotten one of these hung up and placed, and I used it last year, and it was fun to have. I've left them in the shape that they're in as far as like condition wise. They're in a silver spray paint or whatever it is. But I'm just gonna go in with this cocoa fiber roll. It's 36 by 36. I picked up at the local garden center, and I'm just gonna line that. Okay, so clearly we have a lot of excess here, so I'm just gonna go through and cut out what I don't need. Making sure to weigh down the edges and pressing in so I don't have any shortage here. And I'm gonna leave a little bit extra around the edge just because, you know, weight is gonna go in here with the soil and the plants and with water. And I want just a little bit of a lip so that none of the soil falls out when I'm watering it. Now this is pretty heavy. It is a steel industrial, I don't know what it is. We're gonna go with the guard. So this is gonna require some manipulation to get to hang up safely from our tree branch, which I'll show you where they're going to be placed at the end of this. And we're gonna go in with some chain here. I'm using a green chain so that it somewhat disappears into the background. They did not have a black chain that had a good weight holding capability. So we went with this dark green, and then the carabiners won't be seen once the plants are fully grown out. Okay, so the basket is lined now. So I brought you in just a little bit closer so you can kind of see what's going on here. There's probably some excess that I can cut off, and we'll do that at the end just to make sure that when I get the soil in here, everything, you know, I've got edge, and I might just even keep it. So I'm gonna first get some soil down the bottom, and then we're gonna start talking about the plants that we're gonna plant in this container. So the first plant I'm going in with is this foxtail fern. Now, I overwintered this from last year. These are not a cheap plant, about 12 bucks a pop here. And I'm sorry, you know, working on a budget, I'm not interested in spending $12 on an annual when it's an easy to go, easy care for house plant. So I've overwintered multiple asparagus ferns, that's what this is, through my years. So this was no challenge to me, and it should be no challenge to you if you want to keep yours over winter as well. There's a few dead stalks in here, which I will get cleaned up. And there's a lot of new growth as well. These can really handle a lot of different growing situations, whether it be full sun or in the shade, which this is where that's gonna go. But because this is so high, I mean, I really didn't have to clean these few little branches off. You would have never saw them, but Okay, so this is gonna be our centerpiece, and I'm gonna, as we get the hangers on here and such, I will weave this in and around so that we have a nice bit of coverage. Add a bit more soil. Going in with a peat-free compost, or soil as we say. Okay, so for our next bit, I'm going in with a coleus, a trailing coleus by the name of Trailblazer Road Trip. It is this cherry kind of red color. So I've got 2 of those. This is another variety that handles sun or shade. So they're really nice too. If you're trying to tie a look together, you can use them in multiple different ways. And I'm just adding soil as I go to fill in those empty spots. The next plant I'm going in with is Streptocarpella. This will have purple flowers on it, and these are generally sold in hanging baskets, but I was able to find some in 4-inch pots. I really like this plant. Again, another plant you could overwinter and use again the following year, and they will be even bigger. All right. And then the next one is, I purchased a hanging basket of this. This is Purple Bridal Veil. It's a part of the Tradescantia family. And I'm gonna divide the last bit I have up. I used it for both hanging baskets. Doing this is not for the faint of heart, I will tell you that, because there's going to be some dead branches on this, just because I ripped it apart. But I'm hoping the fact that I'm going to bury it up with soil, that we mitigate some of that loss and they'll reroot in time. Okay, and then the final plant is, I'm going in with this Bossa Nova Night Fever begonia. I was able to find these in 3-packs this year instead of the traditional 4-inch pots, which made it way easier for me to save money and get what I needed. So we're just going to plant those right behind the Tradescantia. That way they'll fill in the bare legs, essentially, what's going on there. All right, so here is a better view of it. You can see we've got the coleus, the asparagus fern, the bridal veil, the Streptocarpella, and then the Bossa Nova. It looks a little wonky right now. Again, we're gonna go through and we're gonna space all these wonderful larger fronds out in time once we get the chain on, but that is the next step. So here is the chain that we're using. I just picked this up at Lowe's, nothing too fancy. We are gonna need some pliers to break it apart, and we're gonna try to figure out the length. We've got 15 foot, and let me show you the area that it's gonna be hung up in, which is right over here. Here's one of our other ones. The other one that I did the other day. This was just to make sure that everything was gonna fit in there. I was more worried about the asparagus fern fitting in there with the root ball that it had, but it's working out great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing we did here with the chain. I'm gonna put a hose through the chain, well, the chain through the hose, and the hose will rest on top of the branch here. and it will hang probably from this area and a little bit higher than this one, but still low enough that I can get my dram wand on up there to water it as needed. But I'm really excited about these and seeing how they look and fill out through the season. So this is going to be fun. Separating the chains. If I can't, oh, can I? Oh, maybe not. The way they're linked together, I don't know that I can do that. This one cut. We're going to get through the first bit. I think they came out pretty good. Didn't need to really do any excess trimming on the cocoa coir. Little damage as far as the plants, but I'm not worried about that. This will all fill out in due time, but I'm really happy that they're both finally up. This was the only one that was up last year, and now we have the second one. But you can see here, there's hoses. That one's just on there, covering the chain link where it does have those knots in it, and that will prevent digging into the tree and any harm to it. So hopefully these last a very, very long time. I really like seeing these. Let's take another look at some other angles. So this is out in the backyard down the path, and then kind of give you an idea. This is a long border, so we'll be able to see them from outside the greenhouse windows. And then as we walk up the main path to our garden from the front yard, you can see them over there, which I really, really like. And then as you walk up to our patio, you can see them from here as well. So as you can see, we're chasing daylight at this point. It's almost 9 o'clock in the evening now that we've finished this up, and it's gotten a bit chilly. Probably not my best video. I'm really, really sorry about that. I was just having issues back and forth with audio. It's probably time to invest in new microphones. I'm not quite sure what's going on with them, but I think these hanging baskets came out really, really cool. I can't wait to see how they fill out for the season, and we'll, of course, update you on those. I said we were going to plant some annuals. Clearly, we're not. So in our next video, we'll go over a few more annuals that we're bedding out. We're getting close to being done somewhat, and then I also want to talk to you about the ways that I'm fertilizing this year. So hope you guys got out in your garden and enjoyed some of it today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.